You're going to love this tape. So please donate so we can stay on the air, because there's going to be a lot of talk in the next year about politics. Andrew Perez is a loyal Liberal. He joins me right now. I want to talk to you about the NDP, though, because Jagmeet has been critical of the government for ages, ripped up the agreement where he's supporting the government, and yet every vote since then, he says, this government stinks, but I'm keeping it in power. Some people say it's for his pension, to keep his Maserati in fine tune. But then after Freeland resigned, he said the Prime Minister has to resign. So if the Tories get a chance to bring up another vote of non-confidence, which they should before Christmas, are you confident the NDP will vote against the government and bring it down and we'll have an election?
I'm not confident, Stephen, and I think that's why Jagmeet Singh's message is so jarring, even among his own supporters who want an election, who dislike Justin Trudeau. They see that this is a leader who has propped up the government, first through the confidence and supply agreement, but now on an ad hoc basis. And so I thought yesterday's message from Singh was dumbfounding. He's calling on the Prime Minister. He's realized, the Prime Minister's so unpopular that the politics of me being a tough guy and demanding that he leave right now is good. But then his actions don't match his rhetoric. Well, some people say, that's the NDP, because you have the Maserati Marxist, as he's called now, driving, this expensive Maserati SUV, supposedly out there for the working person. Well, instead, he's dealing with some of the ephemeral issues that, the chattering Chardonnay classes in Toronto want. So I think that strategy worked for a time, and he could tie his success to that of the Liberal government and progressive social policy like childcare, pharmacare, dental care. But now, it's not only the Liberal Party that's in an existential crisis. It's Canada, it's the Canadian people. I can't overstate the threat that Donald Trump and a 25% tariff across the board. This would be an economic depression in many sectors, the oil and gas sector, many other sectors of the Canadian economy. And so I think Singh needs to read the room and understand that even his base is very unhappy.
We just had the Premier of Alberta on, and she was talking about the fact that the United States needs her oil and gas, and that should the shackles the federal government's trying to put on be lifted, they could be very prosperous. So, in certain ways, while shaking it up, certain industries in Canada could wake up and become competitive again. It may be good for some parts of Canada.
That could be true, and we'll have to see, perhaps the tariff will be reduced. I think, obviously, Donald Trump is seeking concessions, but he's also trolling Justin Trudeau online and clearly despises the man. And so for better or Trudeau doesn't have the legitimacy to negotiate with the Trump administration. He lacks the political capital. He enjoyed that political capital during the first Trump administration, but he lacks it. I don't even think this question around Singh is around left or right. I think Singh needs to realize he needs to read the room, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Reading the room, all I can do is read the clock. Andrew, I'm out of time. Thank you. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.